Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Let's Talk Tuesdays. I hope everyone is well. Thank you for everybody who watched the first episode of this show. I really appreciate that, man. It was not easy, but it got done. First and foremost, as you can see from the title of this video, we're going to be talking about social media and your relationship and how important it is to your relationship. You know, what inspired this video is basically what I saw from Offset and Cardi B. That was just crazy to me. Like, these two are going at it back and forth on social media. Now, whoever did it, maybe they did it to get more views or just to get some love, but they're both public figures, so it's kind of, you gotta take it with a grain of salt. It's not exactly like me or you doing that. Social media in a relationship, I've heard, is like, if you're not on Facebook or you're not on Instagram, it's not real. Like, if you haven't put it out in the public. And I can relate to that. I understand that in a certain sense, because people want to be able to put out their relationship, and it doesn't always have to be the most perfect thing, but people want to feel like, look at me and look at who I'm dealing with kind of situation. And it's cool. I kind of understand it. It's just not always like, we don't always need to hear everything. Like I always say, social media is a balance. It's like nobody wants to hear a whole bunch of drama, but nobody wants to see everything going right either all the time. It just doesn't always work. I know for me, like dealing with social media, I've had relationships that are just, they're great. They've been great relationships, but they've also had their ups and downs. Did I share all that? Nah, I didn't share everything, but there was certain things. Like I was in one relationship where the person I was dealing with didn't even want me to share any of the information that we moved in together. It could have been from the fact that I didn't have a whole lot going on in my life, or it could have been the fact that she's dealing with somebody from where we were from, or it could have been just from, she didn't want her ex to get involved with us because it was out there in public. I didn't know at the time. I was just enamored by the person I was with. But I kind of understood eventually, like the reasons being these things. They didn't want public information. They didn't want people knowing their business. And I kind of understood it after a while. I kind of got an idea of what was really going on and what wasn't really going on. And you have to sometimes understand, like, social media can be a great place, but it has its dark sides, and people, you don't want to be scrutinized by people, especially by your peers, because of the person you're dealing with. So not putting it out there, that might be the best thing. And I understand why other people want to put it out there. They want to mark their territory and say, this person is with me. As selfish as that might sound, and it's kind of insecure, but hey, people do it. I always think to myself, you know, 15, 20 years ago, we didn't even have social media. Social media was not something heard of. You were dealing with somebody, you were dealing with that person. Unless that person came across a picture of someone's house, you didn't know that person had a significant other. And it's crazy how that works. Now we're in an age where if it's not on these platforms, people aren't really like considering to be a real thing. Like, are you ashamed of me because you don't want to share that we're together? That's the point that blows my mind about social media. It's like, if I don't share you, I'm somehow neglecting you. Now, I have felt this way in a previous relationship that I spoke about here in this video. I definitely have felt that way, but not something that I'm really proud of. But I definitely felt some way like, oh, I want to share this, because I'm a person, I don't like being inhibited. I don't like someone telling me that I can't do something. It bothers me if I can't express myself. You know, henceforth why I'm doing this. I like being in control of my own platform. I like being able to talk about things that I like to talk about without feeling like I have to somehow censor myself because I somehow want to hide these things. No, this is who I am. This is what it's about. And I couldn't necessarily do that in a relationship. Then I went to another relationship where I was all out and about in a very open relationship, and then all of a sudden things went south, and I ended up going into a very nasty, dirty kind of split where things were said over the internet that shouldn't have been said. And I know I shouldn't have done it over social media, but at the time I wanted to feel empowered. I wanted to just say, you know, I can't keep doing this. I was impatient. And that sometimes is what definitely screwed me up in a way. But I learned, I got past that point. So this is why I asked this question: what does social media mean to your relationship? What exactly does it mean? Because if it's more important in your relationship that people know that you're with that person than just respecting that person's wishes, then you might not need to be in a relationship. I sure as hell probably didn't need to be in a relationship back then too, when I wanted to put this out there and this person's asking me not to do it. You know, you shouldn't have to censor yourself, but you should also be respectful of that person's needs and of that person's wishes for the most part. You should definitely be aware of that. So I had to figure that out. I had to get my mind wrapped around it so I could understand that. And that's what I come to with social media. It is so crazy to me how wild social media can be. and it can be a great thing, but it can also tear your relationship apart. I remember being upset at one point in my time in my life, like, because this person wasn't putting up pictures of me, and they weren't pictures of us together, and that person wasn't saying out loud like, yo, I love this person and this is the greatest relationship of all time and all these things, because I would see other people showing so much love, and I got caught up in that. And that's what social media will do to you sometimes. And when you're in a relationship, it'll give you the fool's gold. It'll make you think that everyone's relationship is so awesome when it's really not. See, when you put up all these pictures of yourself being so great in your relationship, I begin to question shit. I just think to myself, like, come on, man. Come on. Your relationship is so perfect that you guys don't argue, that you don't go through days where you just not really want to be around that person. This is part of a relationship. But you'll never see them post that, because no, God forbid we post something where we don't look good in it. Oh no, that's never going to happen, right? You see, most people, they can't stand the fact of themselves not being perfect on this social media platform. They need themselves to look perfect. So, not to go off on a tangent on that level, but people never really want to post the negative. They only post really the positive. And the only time they post the negative stuff is when it's time to snap back at somebody and go after somebody. That's the only really time that you really see that. But when you're in a relationship, sometimes it's best, if you're going to post the good, sometimes you got to post the bad too, if you're going to be out there like that. If you want your relationship to be so public. But if you just want to keep your relationship to yourself, post the good, that's fine. That's totally all right. But sometimes you got to understand that a relationship is meant to be private. That's why it's between you and that person and not everybody in the world. And social media will bring that all the way out. Everything. And it'll put it out there to the world. But keep your relationship to yourself to a certain point, I think. That's my opinion. I think that you can put your stuff out there, but as far as what's going on in your relationship, you can express yourself, but be it in a respectful manner and be in a way that not many people understand it, in a way that people are not going to be feeling like they're involved in your relationship, unless you're trying to be a reality star, which, hell, if you're trying to be a reality star, just put it all out on the line and maybe somebody will pick you up for a TV show or something of that nature. But don't try to put your relationship on public blast because you want the likes, just because you want the attention. That's just me. Okay, that's my opinion. I think a relationship should be something that's private in between two people, or we should just have no relationships. Everybody should just be in a relationship, one of those cults where they have like everybody's dating everybody kind of situation, I guess. I don't know. I digress. But what I'm saying is some things are meant to be private for a reason, and that's important. So that's really for the talk tonight. That's really what I want to talk about. Is just basically learning, not learning, I should say. Why don't I say learning? It should be mostly what's going on with you. So please put your questions below. If you have any thoughts, anything that you want to talk about, definitely put that below. This is the second episode. There's more stuff coming. There's going to be talking about other different things that I really want to talk about now. But for right now, we're just going to keep it very simple, very basic, nothing too crazy. There'll be other segments down the road that I'm working on. But I really appreciate the fact that you guys are tuning into this show. I didn't want to go too long and too many rants about social media and relationships, but be very aware that social media can be really hard and really tough to deal with in a relationship, and it can make things really rough on you. So just be very careful about how you expose your relationship and how you put it out there, because people are always watching. Trust me, people are always watching. All right, so hit that like button, man, if you can. Subscribe if you like what you see, and please be safe, and thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next week. Peace.
So you have the capacity of whether you want to be stuck living in the memories of the past or engage your imagination and create a powerful future.